Excellent.
Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops is just what the PSP needed, although it's clearly best suited for established fans of this influential stealth action series. Let's keep this simple for those of us who played and enjoyed 2004's Metal Gear Solid 3. You need to play this game, if only because it continues the story in the satisfying, dramatic, and thought-provoking manner you'd hope for. It helps that Portable Ops features plenty of exciting stealth action missions, structured in a completely new way for this series, as well as a complete multiplayer mode. It's almost crazy that all this stuff is packed into a portable game. The story puts the legendary soldier Snake in a South American military base that's occupied both by rogue Soviets as well as American commandos sent in to deal with them. Snake gets caught in the middle of it and winds up convincing and coercing enemy soldiers to join him in a struggle to put an end to all the madness. Along the way, he'll meet some very interesting villains and learn a lot about himself and the world's elaborate, twisted politics. The story isn't told with fully 3D cutscenes this time around, but instead with animated comic book panels, which generally look great and get the point across just fine. The underlying gameplay of Portable Ops is similar to what's been done before in Metal Gear Solid. You'll run and sneak through various military-style environments, and you'll get to fight hand-to-hand as well as aim and shoot, both from a first-person and third-person perspective. There are tons of different authentic firearms and gadgets to use, and the enemy artificial intelligence, though predictable if you've played Metal Gear Solid 3, is quite smart. A variety of new elements come into play as Snake decides he's got to build a posse this time around if he's going to win this particular battle. You gain new comrades in this game essentially by kidnapping them. You knock them out, and then you drag them back to your truck. Then, after an in-game day or two, they'll be coerced into serving you. Since every character has unique ratings and a whole bunch of different statistics, it's particularly fun to keep getting new recruits from every different area you explore just to see what you get. The characters don't play all that differently from one another, but this still introduces a whole new layer to the gameplay. Speaking of which, there's a new strategic layer on top of all the different missions you can undertake. Here, you can assign your comrades to spy on different territories, or help heal up your injured troops, and more. There's a lot to take in, but ultimately this turn-based system is a great fit for the PSP, since it means you can quickly dive into an action-packed mission and be done in just a matter of minutes. Not that this is a short game. The campaign is about the same length as Metal Gear Solid 3, weighing in at 15 hours or so. A lot of the missions making up the campaign are simple and straightforward, but the gameplay itself is deep and open-ended, so you can go about it however you want. And of course, you'll get to take on some powerful, challenging boss opponents, and several of these guys are actually really great new characters for that matter. There's a lot to do in the campaign, and you can dive back into it at a higher difficulty level for lots of replay value, retaining the comrades you gained the first time around. Your preferred single-player squad can transfer straight into the online 6-player multiplayer mode. In addition to online play, you've also got ad hoc and game-sharing modes for local play. Multiplayer is based on the competitive modes found in this year's MGS3 Subsistence, and the modes are based on your classic deathmatch and capture the flag styles. However, since you can use all of the moves from the single-player mode when fighting against other players online or locally, there's a very different feel to this than the typical multiplayer shooter. Multiplayer Portable Ops has some interesting options that let you, for instance, play for keeps with some of your characters, so if you kill someone else's guys, the opponent loses them forever, and you get to keep them, and vice versa. There's even something called Cyber Survival, which is basically a stats-based online strategy game that you can play using the different characters you've recruited.
What's wrong? Your circuit's gone dead. Give me a status report.
On top of everything, you've got outstanding graphics, sound effects, music, and voice acting, highlighting the entire experience. A few corners were cut from the PlayStation 2 versions of Metal Gear Solid, but seeing all this on a small portable system is pretty remarkable. The entire game is just a great fit for the PSP, since the mission structure means you could have a satisfying play session with just a few minutes to spare, and there's more than enough here to let you play for hours at a time if that's what you want instead. The game is going to take some getting used to if you're not an established fan of Metal Gear Solid, but either way, this is one of the finest, best games for the PSP yet.